Hey guys, welcome to UTV Guna. I'll be hosting today. I'm joined with Abik and Arma. Unfortunately, Amit couldn't be here due to him being ill. So yeah, I'll be hosting the free AD show. How you guys been?
Good.
Yeah.
Looking
Oh, good,
forward to
man.
this Liverpool takeover of the show.
Yeah, it feels like a little takeover at the moment, which
Scousers rule
is
the world, as we know.
2-1 deals.
yeah. Unfortunately, Amit couldn't make it today because of being ill and stuff. So I'm here with you two now. So we're gonna talk about Arsenal, hopefully.
Talk a bit about
If we
Arsenal.
let you. If we let you.
Okay, so let's just go straight into the show. My first question is, what happened on the weekend, guys?
You went to about Arsenal?
Yeah, what happened on the weekend, guys?
Okay.
No, it's the Arsenal channel, so you talk about the Arsenal game first. How about that?
All right, cool. Well,
Go on.
as you guys know, we won 2-0 against Crystal Palace. Solid winning. My thoughts on the game, I thought it was a decent showing. It definitely showed character of the game. It definitely showed character of Arsenal, and I feel like we done well in the first game. And last season, lost against Brentford, that was embarrassing. But this season, we started strong. So hopefully, we can continue this momentum and continue on to top four, maybe, and even a trophy. What do you guys think of the
Yeah.
game?
I think you played really well. You played like a title. I'm not saying you're gonna challenge for the title, but you played like a title. Uh you play like champions, that's the word. You play like champions in that game. The first half, you didn't let them dictate the game. You didn't let them bully you around physically because they do that at Palace. They put them long balls up there and they hang them balls up there and people, big strong players. Sometimes they get the better of you, but you played really well. Put your imprint on the game. Jesus was really good. Jesus, the way he turns is unbelievable. Honestly, it's something beautiful to watch. So I think Arsenal played really well. You deserve to win the game. The only thing I would say is the end of the second half, which happens, is the Premier League. You're under the cosh a little bit, where Palace really had you down. The last, let's say, 20 minutes. Palace really, were pressing high, but they didn't get any goals. They didn't do anything with that. So overall, very good performance. And yeah, I think you're going. It's one game out of 38, but you're on course to definitely get top four this season.
Brilliant, brilliant. What about you, Abik? What do you think about the game?
Yeah,
Sports?
look, opening day of the season, you want to get the 3 points. Obviously, we'll go on to our team because we didn't quite manage that. But Palace away is not the easiest of starts as well. It's still a tough place to go. I know that Palace have had a bit of a disrupted pre-season because I think, like some other clubs, they've gone like abroad, and depending on like the COVID ruling, some of their players who obviously may not have had vaccination have stayed back. So it's been a bit disruptive. I think Vieira was complaining about that in preseason, but look, you can only beat what's put in front of you. And the way to Palace, like I said, is a tough game. Like I said, Jesus, he could be the signing of the summer, to be honest. In terms of a player coming into a club and having impact, I think he could have the greatest impact at Arsenal, even greater than what Haaland could do at City, because of like the level that type of signing can take you to. So what I'm saying is the level that signing can take you to is a bigger level than what Haaland can take City to, because City are already
They're
amazing.
already so good.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah,
already
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So that's what I mean by that. So yeah, on another day he walks away with like a goal and assist. Fortunately, he doesn't. He's in my team, as probably in your teams as well, and a lot of people out there. But
73%, I think it is. Yeah.
yeah,
Fancy,
but
yeah.
yeah, he was really good. And then yeah, you had like it was just a really good performance overall. You clean sheet as well. Saliba, quality. I'm going to bring him into my team eventually. He looks like he's the real deal. As well. So yeah, good start to the
Well,
season, and yeah, onwards and upwards.
we'll get into sleep in a minute, but yeah, my initial reaction of the game, unfortunately, Jesus didn't get a goal, but mine off from that, it was a solid performance. All the signs that were in the game made a huge contribution, and the team looks better now. It looks much more better than a couple of seasons ago, so I'm very happy about that.
Zinchenko was really good as well.
Yeah, Zinchenko, yeah, he was decent.
Only a few times. He was very good, but a few times he got caught lacking a little bit defensively. But that's going to happen in games. No one's perfect.
I still would start Tierney over Zinchenko, but
I
that's
think he's
that's
better than. Yeah, I think
yeah.
he's better, especially for big games, big top six, top eight games. Tierney starts because he's solid defensively.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got to ask now, guys. What happened on the weekend?
Well, we did what you did last season, except for we didn't lose on our opening day against a newly promoted side. We drew. Look at it two ways. Yeah, it can be drop points because from minute one you're probably thinking Liverpool going to win, but we retrieved the situation twice where we went behind. So we went 1-0 down, pulled it back, went 2-1 down, and again pulled it back. So my half is always my cup is always half full, and the way I see it is we rescued a situation where we were going to lose. Having said that, we were absolutely shocking, and again I take encouragement from the fact that we were that poor but we can still draw and not lose. So that's something you got to believe that's a positive.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Klopp, he held nothing back as well. He said the players' attitude wasn't right. I don't know what happened. He doesn't know what happened. He really he went into the players. I wouldn't have liked to be in that dressing room after the game or this week because he probably drilled them in training. Like say that can't happen again, basically. So yeah, disappointing. Mitrovic, obviously was a handful for us. For one reason or another, we weren't at it. What surprised me though was I thought we'd be okay because we looked really good against City just a week before. So it's not as if you can say, oh, Liverpool have had they've been slow in pre-season and then it makes sense that they've got off to a slow start in the league. Not really. We've had a okay pre-season, not the best, but then we've beaten Man City. I don't care if it's a Community Shield or what it is. It's still a competitive game and it's still Man City. So it could have been like a non-trophy friendly, but it's still Man City. And to beat them 3-1 was a big deal. So we were well prepared for it, but we just didn't deliver on the day. Darwin obviously comes off the bench and saves us because I think if Darwin doesn't come off the bench, we probably do lose that game.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, look, it's one game out of 38. Hopefully we see a really good reaction now on Monday night at home to Palace, who you guys have beaten. So I feel sorry for Palace because that's a tough start. Arsenal at home and Liverpool away for them, especially a Liverpool team that, at Anfield under lights, first home game of the season. We need to show a reaction and hopefully that we get the right result, but equally we need to put that performance right, because that's the other thing I would say is at the start of the season, it's not just about picking up the right result, but it's also about improving performance as you go on, because no one's at it from game week one. That you kind of players' fitness builds up over the first 5 or 6 weeks. At the business end of the season, it's just about results. So you can scrape a 1-0 as long as you're still in, the race for top 4, race for the title, whatever you're, challenging for. But at the moment, it should be performance and results. So I want to see the right result, and I want to see a bloody good performance from Liverpool on Monday night.
Yeah, it's just a shock. It's kind of a shock factor where like last time you beat City 3-1, and then you go to a new team that's just been promoted into the Premier League. It's just been a shock factor, that's all. But what was your thoughts on the game?
So obviously it's disappointing to draw against Fulham. I was going into the game a little bit arrogant. I thought we'd win 2-3-0. I thought we would assert our dominance on the game like Arsenal did. I expected us to do what you guys done on the Friday, so the game before, because obviously you played Friday night, we played Saturday morning.
Yeah,
we didn't do that. Fulham played really well. They pressed us high. They made us uncomfortable. Our midfield struggled quite a bit, and we really, really struggled. And then we're making Mitrovic look like Mbappe. I mean, he's a good player, but come on, man. Seriously, I was getting frustrated watching it. How good, he played well. But come on, guys, let's not pretend, he's the new, Riyad Mahrez. Come on, he's a good player, but we were very sloppy. I think our players actually were like the fans. I think they were quite arrogant. They came to the game and thought, Fulham away, we just beat City, we'll pass the ball around, we'll get crosses in, we'll get our goals, we'll take the 3 points home. But that wasn't the case. They got hit with a really bad, a shock, and they didn't respond properly. We got the draw, of course. I'm happy to get the draw. Darwin Núñez scored as well, so it's 2-2 right now.
Great goal as well.
Great goal. I'll say 2-1, but
because he tried that flick like 5 minutes before, and the keeper did it again, got the lift. It was a great goal.
Good
Quite
goal.
like a cocky like finish as well. Like, do you know what I mean? In that
Yeah.
situation, we're not winning the game 4-0. So fair play to him.
Well, that's the thing with them type of finishes. If he misses that again and it goes over the bar, then people start getting angry. So you have to have a lot of cojones to like you said, when you're losing 2-1 to try and score like that. So overall, satisfactory. In fact, not great. But like Abig said, there's so many games left of the season. These guys are only human players, so you can't expect them to be on it 38 games of the season. Unfortunately, City have made it the league sort of so high, and their levels are so good, and so are our levels as well last season. And then the season we won the Champions League in 2018-19, that you have to be good for like 32 games a season. Maybe you can lose a few, draw a few, but you can't lose you can't draw 8-10 games and win this league. It's not enough because City are putting the level so high.
That's what I was going to say. Last season, it wasn't the losses that killed us, because we only lost like I think 2 games.
Twice, West Ham and
the draws really killed us. I think we drew about, I want to say 6 to 8 games, and we've got off to a draw again. I'm not saying that this draw is like, if it comes down to it, it comes down to it, but it's too early to say that it will. But I hope we don't see that many draws, because that's what killed us. I'd rather us lose 4 games than draw 10. Do you know what I mean? Because then it'll kind of balance out in that sense. Do you know what I mean? And you can end up winning the title because you draw less in a weird way. So
yeah, I get what you mean. When like other teams that draw 10, 11 games and sing invincible. But anyway, so overall, I'm happy. Like Abig said, you watch what happens at Anfield on Monday. Players are going to be right at it from minute 1, press high, control the game, and take the 3 points. And then we go to OT and we show them who's boss. But we'll get on to that next week. So yeah, I'm happy, man.
Yeah, so my thoughts on the game. Obviously, I said it was a shot factor. I wasn't really expecting it, but you lot bounced back and fair play. I mean, your defense was a bit 50-50 at times, but yeah, Nunes, he saved you, and Salah, he saved you there. So I'll give you props to that. Where you came back from maybe an embarrassing loss.
I think we need to give Fulham some credit as well, to be fair.
Yeah, they played well.
They played really, really well. It's always tough, like you guys experienced last season, to go to a promoted team on their home patch, because they've always got a point to prove. They're like, we're back in the big time. Like, the fans are excited. That energy transcends onto the players. Also, Fulham got nothing to lose. Think about it. What Fulham losing on Saturday morning does not define their season. They would have gone into the game expecting nothing. So the fact that they got a point and were winning, they'll be like obviously buzzing about that. So fair play to Fulham. I just hope that they do the same thing to Man City, and I hope they just bend over, because if they bend over and City smash them 7-0, then I'll be pissed off, because I'll be like, well, why didn't you do that? Do what you did to us against them. Have a go, basically. So we'll see. We'll see.
City going to drop points this season. I'm just going to say that quickly. City will drop points this season.
We need them to. We need them to.
No. I honestly think that it's going to be.
When you say that, though, but who are they going to drop points to when you say that?
The big teams. You don't think Arsenal can beat them at the Emirates? Last season, you deserve to beat them. They only got lucky because of jamminess and a lucky penalty.
The other thing, Amma, is we didn't beat. Did we beat any of the top?
No.
Did we? 2 draws against Chelsea. 2 draws against Tottenham,
Spurs, and we 2 draws against. Yeah, Arsenal went in top 4. Remember, I'm talking about top 4. So we drew to Chelsea twice. We drew to Spurs twice, and we drew to City twice.
How?
City twice as well. Yeah, so that's it. 6 draws, 6 games.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. And we lost the title by how many points? 1.
1 point. Yeah.
So if we won one of those games, there you go. This is what I mean by draws killed us last season. This is what I mean.
And another thing is one thing before we go on to the other games, but twice last season we were 2-0 up and it happened to 2-2. So at Stamford Bridge, 2-0 up, and again Chelsea played well that game, but we gave up the 2-0 lead, which you can't do. Yeah. And against Brighton as well. If I believe we were 2-0 up,
that was a big one.
You can't do things like that and want to win the league. But I'm happy, man.
I mean, don't disrespect Brian like that, yeah. Because let's see. Remember, I know United in disarray right now, but let's talk about that game now. Yeah, United versus Brighton. What?
That's what made my weekend.
What a game!
if I was down in the dumps by Sunday, I was fine.
Oh, we're so happy. Danny Welbeck, that guy Welbs, goes back to OT and shows them who's boss. Yes! Yes, I loved it.
That was crazy, man.
That
My
was
thoughts on the game.
beautiful.
United are still in disarray. It's been
a clue.
It's been a whole pre-season, yeah. Ten Hag has came in, yeah, and he's still done nothing to United. I don't see no change, honestly.
The best thing is they have no plan, because I'm sorry, if you were trying to go for Marko Arnautovic, what transfer strategy is that? There's no plan. There is no plan. The players that they've been going for, the likes of De Jong, do not want to move from Barcelona because they don't want to join this club.
I think De Jong's going to end up at Chelsea, by the way. Chelsea
I think he might do. Yeah, I think he might do.
If Chelsea buy Wesley Fofana and De Jong, Chelsea going to be in the title race.
And Aubameyang as well, apparently.
Aubameyang, this is big signings. Yeah, Cucurella, Koulibaly, Fofana, big signings. But
and Sterling. So.
Overall, beautiful game to watch. I couldn't stop. When you laugh, like I was laughing like crazy every time they're making mistakes. I was like, and that little, that minion at the back? Is that, was that Martinez? Oh, Martinez, yeah. I couldn't see him. Who was that? What's his name?
That was a penalty, by the way. Let's not get us wrong there.
Was a penalty. How can you get away with that?
I don't know.
He pushed it, choked both hands.
I don't know how, but yeah, that was a penalty.
And McTominay was very high. That was a very, very high challenge.
Old Trafford, they've still got that influence somehow.
Yeah, they do. And again, more big teams do, not just United. Big teams have influence on the league. One, like you said, I'm happy you mentioned Fulham, and I mentioned Fulham as well. What we have to do throughout the season is when smaller teams play well, we have to give them props. Because I don't like how pundits just talk rubbish about they just say, oh, Liverpool are bad. No, Fulham played well as well. Yeah, just like this United game, Brighton played really well, deserved to win. So overall, absolutely amazing. I'm so happy.
Adam Lallana rolling back the years. Why did we ever let him go? Why did we let him go?
Dylan, I don't know if you've back in the day, Lallana, the way he turns, and I said about Jesus, the way he turns, the way Lallana's little flicks with his feet, he makes it. Imagine having Lallana and Thiago in their prime, just art of football, man. Honestly.
Fair play to Brian, because remember they've lost Cucurella and Bissouma. Bissouma's a big miss for them. So to go to Old Trafford and win 2-1.
No, they're really good. So
fair enough. Did Ten Hag start Eriksen as striker?
He did.
Yeah,
false attacking mid.
Because Martial's injured. What about Rashford? Couldn't he have played?
Rashford started
on the wing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
they got problems.
Yeah, they got problems.
I would have started Ronaldo personally, but
Dylan should give him Tavares at left wing.
Mate, he's out of my club. Yeah, he's out of my club for now. He's on loan. I don't have to worry about him anymore. I don't see him the whole season.
Dylan, I might have to get you a shirt and just put Tavares on the back. How about that? Yeah, but you know what? It's one of these things, man. But now we have to talk about the thing we don't want to talk about, which is West Ham versus Man City. It's a tough one to swallow, that game, because Man City absolutely dominated that game, and they put everyone to sleep. Pass. The West Ham, I actually felt sorry for them. Like watching that game, I was like, these guys, what are they going to do? And they tried to sit back, stay strong, didn't work. And Haaland, gets a penalty, deserved penalty. Overall, Man City played well, and they showed why they're champions of the league. And I feel sick saying this right now, but I have to say it. It's facts. And Haaland scored again the second goal, again, because they played the high line. Remember, that was a Bundesliga-style high line because West Ham are going for the game. He scored the second goal, good finish. And Man City were very, very good. Rodri is so good. Yeah. I can't believe there's a certain someone who was unwell. We wish him well. Put Thomas Partey over Rodri. I mean, that's some respect. But yeah, Man City were absolutely amazing. And probably favourites to win the title, but we'll be in the mix and we'll be there. And if we win it, you'll never stop hearing from me forever. I'll be on this channel every day reminding you.
Mate, honestly, if we win it, it's because we're beating this Man City team, which is unreal. Like I think it's harder. It's so hard to win the league right now with Man City.
The way it's gonna work
the
way it's gonna work is, and this is not my way of thinking about this. Yeah. Both of you are going to have your draws, same amount of draws, same amount of losses, The only time it's going to be changed is when you lot play against City.
Maybe.
And then that's going to be decided on.
And if that's a draw, then
Yeah, if that's a draw, then it's going to be City winning. And the reason why is the goal difference. That's the way I can see it. But apart from that, if you not beat City,
I can't take another 1 point loss, title loss.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I'd rather lose by 5 points or something and not go to the final season. I don't want to go to the final day again and we lose again because it's just like, how much closer can we actually?
I mean, you were very close at one point for like 90 minutes.
I think we were about 15, 16 minutes away from winning it.
Yeah.
If Villa would have held on.
Tyrone Mings decided to be a rubbish defender that he is. He's awful. And I'm
That's
sorry.
Why Gerrard stripped him of the captaincy probably before you thought, you cost Liverpool the league last season. Piss off.
I'm still disappointed in Aston Villa for that. You don't capitulate like that. Forget about us. You don't capitulate in a big game.
No. You gotta get some props to City as well because
they came back.
I've lost.
Nah, but okay, look, fair enough. That's done. There's no talk about it. You're gonna upset me. I might start crying. All right, so overall, what was your guys' thoughts on the West Ham Man City game?
Standard game, man. Like you kind of knew in there, like West Ham had a little chance, but you basically knew City were gonna win that game either way.
I had a shred of hope going into the game just because last season West Ham drew 2-2, I think, and Mahrez missed a penalty in the last minute. I had a shred of doubt. Oh, can they get a point? And it would have, if they would have got a point on Sunday, it wipes out Liverpool's result. Because that's the way I see it. You have to match what Man City do. So if Man City win, you have to win. If Man City draw, I'm not saying you can afford to draw. You still go for the win, so you go more points ahead of them. But you can afford to draw. We couldn't afford to draw on the weekend because Man City won. But it is what it is.
But overall good. City go on. We're coming for them. We'll be in around. Like I said, I you know what? I've just got to. Sometimes as a football fan, you just have to appreciate when a team's so good. And I've come to terms with it. Like they're so good, I can't hate on them anymore. And it is what it is. But
I do think you're right, though. I think this year, who knows? Maybe Liverpool, Man City get 90+ points again or mid-90s, but it might not work that way because the reason why I say that is because the likes of Tottenham and Arsenal have improved. They've taken a step. So the game City play against them, even when we play Arsenal, and we're not going to beat them 4-0. I guarantee you we're not going to beat them 4-0 this time. It will maybe be like 2-1 or something where we have to work really hard, or we drop points, or we lose even. Like that's what I'm saying. Like someone like Jesus coming to Arsenal, they've got that pivotal player out front, and Jesus has caused Liverpool some problems in the past for City. He scores against Liverpool. He does like scoring against us. So it's not going to be that easy.
What I was going to add on that is, I was going to say, probably you guys probably know about the all or nothing Arsenal has been coming out. I've watched all of them recently. So what I've seen is, from last season, and I forgot about this completely, but the first half of both the City game and the Liverpool game, not the 4-0 one, but the second Liverpool game when you're at home, or we were home against you lot. We did actually quite well in the first half. It's just we missed chances. That's literally what it was. So, I mean, the second half we just lost it completely. So
and also we're so good, we take little chances. Like I think it was Ben White said in the documentary. He said they're so good. How did they? This smallest chance you give them, they scored. Like Jota's goal.
Yeah,
that really probably shouldn't have been a goal. But at the same time, he hit it well. So let's give him credit. He hit the ball really well with his left foot. So. And he loves a goal against Arsenal, then he deals. But
he's always my team when I see him playing against Arsenal.
This shirt must give you nightmares, man. 2 out of 2 wins at the Emirates.
He needs to get his ass back on the pitch, man. We're missing Jota.
We are. Bobby's lost his legs, but now we have to go on to a team which I think need to be respected this season. Is Tottenham Hotspur beating Southampton 4-1 and convincingly.
We kind of knew that was going to happen, though. Like, what's it called?
Well, we're not 4-1 deals. I think they played really well. Well.
If anything, I was playing a clean sheet. If anything.
Don't be a hater, yeah? I accept it. Spurs are good. But no, like, I think Spurs played really well. I didn't see the game, but from what I saw, getting goals like, I think, Dyer, Sessegnon's...
Anyone but Kane, basically.
Yeah. It's...
Mate, Kane never fires at the start of the season, I'll tell you that now.
Sorry?
Kane never fires at the start of the season, I'll tell you that now.
I don't know why I brought him in.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't. But then Kane's more of a player. He's just not a striker. He's attacking midfielder. He's a
Yeah.
midfielder. He's a striker. He do everything. So, what was your thoughts on the Spurs? On the Spurs game from what you guys saw.
Very,
Routine, really, isn't it? Southampton at home, they should be beating, to be honest. 4-1, yeah, is a good result. But I think it's routine. I think it would have been a huge shock if they dropped points or lost. Not that can't happen, it could. But under Conte, you just sense you're going to see less shocks with Spurs this season.
They're going to be
They
good.
got more control about them. They've had a really good window. Wait until the likes of Perisic and that, bed in properly, and the difference the like players of that make. My pre-season prediction would be for them to finish third. I think City will win it, Liverpool second, and I think Spurs will finish for third. They really have impressed me that much, and they've got the perfect manager in Conte as well.
They do, yeah, top manager.
I mean, look what they did to City last season. Look what they did to us. You know what I mean?
You say that, yeah, but you got to remember last season they had Mourinho, who is won trophies in every club he's been to apart from Tottenham.
Then they sacked him day before the final. I mean, come on, man.
This is what I'm trying to say.
Mourinho could have won that final against City, yeah? Mourinho is a specialist. He's a specialist in games. Though you have to look at all the history he's done. You made a quick point I'll make is that I remember in 2014-15 when Chelsea won the league, Mourinho played very good football in the first part of the season. Then he just played rubbish football at the end of the season. Yeah. He played park the bus, get a goal, we're done, we're finished, we won the game. And that's what you mean by you have to play. Performance have to be good at the start, the first half of the season, then not second half, but end of the second half of the season, you can start just
from April onwards. It doesn't matter how you play as long as you win. Yeah.
And overall, Spurs played really well.
I definitely see them like around that top four spot along with Arsenal.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
I think you and Spurs are getting third and fourth spot.
This is the thing now, but if Chelsea do make these signings like they're linked to, i.e. Aubameyang, which I hope I don't get. Who was else?
That'll hurt you in it. He scored at the Emirates.
De Jong.
Frankie De Jong. Who's lost one, sorry?
They want to get Fofana. Fofana's a
really good. Yeah.
Not 80, 75, whatever.
Yeah, but I say, then I can see Chelsea coming back up.
In the title race.
Yeah, I don't know about title race. I still think title race is between us and City.
Did you guys so the final game of the Big Six was obviously Everton versus Chelsea. I saw parts of it, and Chelsea done they done the job. They got the penalty, they scored, they defended as well as they could. Everton played quite well. Everton, I think, were probably the better team, but Everton they didn't take their chances. But yeah, from what I saw, it was a typical defensively strong performance, and that was a performance we expect end of the season where you just take the points and that's it.
Yeah.
So they do need to be a bit careful. As much as we'll be giving them props if they get Aubameyang or all these players, Fofana, De Jong, same time as they have to start performing. Now I'll tell you something. I've got a feeling, and we will get to that afterwards. It can be a shock at Stamford Bridge when Conte's men go there. Conte's men in white go there. So it'll be interesting. But what was your guys' thoughts on the Everton-Chelsea game?
Yeah, another 1-0 for Chelsea. It's pretty much it, man. Get a goal, kind of part of the bus.
Strong.
Yeah. Just
strong. They just played that game.
I think two things. I think Frank's going to be the first manager to get sacked.
Okay.
And secondly, I think Everton are in huge trouble this year. And the reason why I say that is obviously Richarlison's gone. He was their main man last year. Like he got a lot of their goals. Calvert-Lewin is injured again, and he hasn't been since he's come back. They got no firepower up front, basically. I think they got Rondon still somehow. He's still there, but they got no firepower. And obviously they avoided relegation last season. It's going to be a similar story this season. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near the top half. I think they're going to be fighting it out with the likes of like a Bournemouth or someone like that right at the bottom. So. Yeah, they're in trouble for me this season, Everton. But yeah, Chelsea, I think would have been expecting to go there and win. They do.
In a very,
I'm not sold on Chelsea though. Even when these players come in, we'll see how the squad looks when the window closes. but I'm not sold on Chelsea. I actually think Chelsea probably looked stronger 12 months ago, even though the Lukaku deal didn't work out. I think there was more about Chelsea 12 months ago than there is now, and I think
Well,
a lot
everyone
of
thought they
that's.
were going to win the league.
Yeah,
That's why everyone thought
and
they
the
were
thing,
gonna win the
a
league.
lot of that's down to what they've been through. Like, so the change
Yeah, but
in ownership,
when we were thinking about winning the league, that was backed up by them winning the Champions League.
Champions League, and Lukaku,
Yeah, and
sorry.
Lukaku. Yeah, that's the two reasons why.
Lukaku was meant to be the final piece.
Yeah,
But Chelsea, any Chelsea striker is like the poison chalice. They've not had a decent striker since Drogba.
Yeah, Abraham was all right.
Torres didn't work out either, and I don't know how far Torres was after Drogba. Trying to think, Torres would have
He was
joined.
that same year, but then Drogba left, so he was joining. I think joined 2011 to Chelsea,
and
and then
Torres
Drogba left
joined.
after.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
since like Torres hasn't worked out, and then they've obviously Lukaku's the latest one now who hasn't worked out. They've got players like Batshuayi. Is he still there? I think he is.
Still there. He's still there. What's he doing around the place?
They've got players
Stinking out the place.
they've got players who've been at the club for like 6-7 years who are just fringe players. And the thing that frustrates me with Chelsea is they have 10 billion players out on loan. And you think, oh yeah, of course he's a Chelsea player, like Brozier, like last season. I didn't know he was a Chelsea player until.
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher, another one. Like, will he ever get a decent run in the Chelsea side? Someone who deserves a good run. Do you know what I mean? So, I'm not sold on Chelsea. I think Arsenal and Spurs are finishing above Chelsea.
Yeah. So now I think it's time we go to preview the fixtures.
Well, just before that, I was going to say, Abik, you weren't here the last show we did, so I'm just going to quickly reiterate this. I said that we're going to be comparing Van Dijk and Saliba this whole season. So I just want to put it out there, yeah.
We are, yeah. Okay.
1-0 Saliba, okay.
Okay, you keep that confidence. Yeah. You keep that confidence.
1-0 Saliba, yeah.
1-0 Saliba.
1-0 Saliba, yeah. And put respect.
He kept the clean sheet.
But I'm saying performance of the game, yeah, because Van Dijk had a good performance in the last game against Fulham.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you now, yeah, 1-0 Saliba, yeah, and I'm telling you now, he's gonna be better than Van Dijk this season.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I'm telling you now
about that, mate. Honestly, if he's better than Van Dijk this season, that means you're challenged for the title.
Yeah, but Van Dijk's falling off though. Van Dijk's falling off though.
Yeah, but even Van Dijk falling off still makes him one of the top 3 centre backs in the league. He's not the same player that he was pre-injury. No, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Pre-injury, he was probably being spoken about as the best centre back in the world. On form.
I still say he's the best centre back in the world.
I agree. I've seen a drop off, and it's understandable because that type of injury, ACL, some players just don't come back from. Like it can end a career. That's how bad it is.
I would say one thing: last season, after 2-3 months, Van Dijk was really, really good.
Yeah, it took him a while last season, but we had Matip who was equally as good, and that helped.
Yeah, let's not forget him. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a big shout to say Saliba's going to be better than Van Dijk this season. I don't.
I can see.
You're judging it on one game, basically, right?
No. Saliba hasn't been played with Arsenal. This is the first time he played for Arsenal. Like 3 years ago.
Yeah, the French Maguire.
What do you mean the French Maguire? The French Van Dijk, the French Van Dijk.
All right. French Van Dijk. So that basically means you know Van Dijk's better than him because you just said he's a French Van Dijk.
Yeah, but it's imperative. But listen, it's imperative, yeah, to compare him, yeah, from when Van Dijk was at his prime. If you're saying Van Dijk at his prime, yeah, then I'm saying hands down.
I don't think Van Dijk's past his prime though. I just don't think he's got back to how he was pre-injury yet, which might be this season. It might happen this season.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But like, if you're saying he's dropped off, then he's past. Obviously, he's past his prime.
Yeah, he's not past it,
but he has dropped off.
He's dropped off a little bit, not a lot, because he's so good.
It's still noticeable though. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very noticeable. It's very noticeable when.
I think
you're going off the Fulham game. Last season, he was absolutely amazing. It was only the first 2-3 months it took him time to get in the rhythm.
Maybe after the 10th game, like when the season's 2 months in, if Liverpool are conceding like a goal every game or 2 goals every game, then you could say, yeah, it looks like there's an issue at the back and it could be Van Dijk. but one game in is
Yeah,
too early to judge. I think.
Okay, yeah, no, but like I said, yeah.
We'll come and take Saliba in a year or two. So you keep you.
No, but like,
We'll take Saka and Saliba.
I'm only saying this, yeah, because you disrespected Saliba last time, yeah. That's
We
all I'm
don't need
saying.
I didn't disrespect him. I said Van Dijk. He said he's nowhere near Van Dijk. But Saliba is a very good defender from what I've seen. He's very solid. He's tall. He's strong. He's got everything you want. He's like Konate. He's like the B-Tech Konate. So let's see what he does. But anyway,
That's another boy we need back on the pitch, man. I'm telling you, all these injuries, man.
All right.
We need Debut.
So if we go through the games for the Big Six next week,
Yeah.
first game we should talk about is Manchester City versus Bournemouth. I mean, we kind of know what's going to happen.
7-0. I'm going to bring in Haaland and captain him.
Mate,
I think he'll score 4 goals.
I
generally think he'll score 4 or 5 goals if he gets the chances.
He's very captain on my team, mate.
He will. I think it'll be 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a one-sided
Can't see it
game.
being anything else.
I just hope that if Bournemouth can stay compact for the first half an hour, first 45 minutes, they can frustrate City, but then can Bournemouth stay defensively resolute? I don't know about that. It's going to be tough. And Man City are going to pass them off the ground. Yeah, Bournemouth going to be crying after half time. Like, boss, what do we do?
Mate, if Bournemouth got a draw or a shock win, it would be the greatest shock of the season already. And I guarantee you, second game in, you won't see a bigger shock after that.
100%.
It'll be that big. It'll be that big.
I'm predicting a 5-0 Man City win. What's your guys' predictions?
No, I don't think it's gonna be a high scoring game, but I think it's gonna be like a 2-3-0. I reckon. I don't think they're gonna dominate as in terms of like 5-6-0 kind of game. Do you get me? They'll have chances and stuff, but I don't think it'll be that time because it's too early. Do you get me? I still feel like Bournemouth is still like fighting them to kind of keep.
I'll tell you one thing. If Man City score in the first 5-10 minutes, yeah, I'm not going to watch the game. I don't know if I'm watching the game either way, but if Man City score in the first 5-10 minutes, this is bad. This should be illegal. What they're going to do to Bournemouth if they score? Because then remember, Man City will press even higher, and Bournemouth, have they got the players to get them behind? Have they got the finishers? I don't know. Yeah, so Abik, what's your prediction for Man City versus Bournemouth?
Yeah, I think I'm the opposite of Dylan. I think it's going to be 6 or 7. I just think they got obviously way too much firepower, especially with Haaland now scores a brace in the opening game. Remember, it's the first home game of the season, so Etihad, their 10 fans will be beaming.
Lucky 15. They might be cheeky and bring 15 in.
They might bring an extra 10 or 15, but it'll be less than 50 fans. But they'll be making a racket, and I'm sure the players all want to put on a show for them. So I think it'll be high scoring. I think there was the way they passed against West Ham. Like, I feel sorry for Bournemouth because Bournemouth won't be able to cope with that. Not nearly as West Ham did, kind of thing at times. So. Yeah, 6 or 7 nil, unfortunately. But look, we have to profit. So hopefully, Haaland captain, everyone's going to make that choice, and he does well. Yeah.
So the next game we got, we should talk about it as it's an Arsenal channel. Well, not today. Is Arsenal versus Leicester, which I think is going to be a really interesting game. I think Arsenal are going to not batter Leicester, but I think Arsenal are going to do the same thing against Palace.
Yeah.
Arsenal are going to imprint themselves, and we know the best atmosphere in England is Anfield, but I'll say something. I was talking to my boy who's an Arsenal fan about this, that when Emirates is popping in terms of, it's a nice sunny day, it's always a 4 o'clock. They always batter one team. You battered Chelsea that 3-0, you battered United. Do you remember when you battered United 3-0 when you scored 3 in the first half? Yeah. Arsenal have something about them. I don't know if you understand this, Abik, but Arsenal got this thing about them that when it's a nice day and the fans are up for it, it's very, very tough. Arsenal press really high. I think it's going to be one of them days. And I think Arsenal are going to beat Leicester. I think Arsenal are going to play well. Depends. It'll be interesting because it'll be, again, first game at the Emirates. So for me, my prediction, I think Arsenal are going to win 3-1. So what's your guys' thoughts on the game?
I'm gonna say like 2-1, maybe a 3-1 even. And the reason I say that is because I feel like Vardy's gonna score. That's pretty much it. I mean, Vardy always scores against Arsenal, so that's annoying thing.
We got Saliba, so.
Oh yeah, the French Van Dijk.
Listen.
You'd have more confidence in your player, man.
Listen, I'll say
Can I say something? I actually think Saliba's got the speed to bully him. Not bully him, because Gabriel and Saliba are quick, strong, tall. So they're very. And you got Ben.
You know what? Yeah, even though you might pressured me, I'm gonna say it. Clean sheet against Leicester.
Do it. 3
I'm gonna
0.
say it. 3-0
Do
clean
it. 6
sheet.
I
0.
think
I'm gonna
8
say it.
0.
I'm gonna say it. Yeah, Saliba is gonna bully Vardy. I'm gonna say it.
Big words. I'll tell you something. If Vardy scores a hat trick, yeah, well, you better not come on next week.
You ain't see me next week,
Um,
mate. You ain't see me next week.
yeah, so your prediction is 3 0.
Yeah, I'm
I
saying.
think 3-1. I think Arsenal are going to really, like, again, press high, control the game, like you just said against Palace, play the ball around. I'll be good short prediction for the game.
I think it's going to be 3-0 as well. The reason why I say is because Leicester, correct me if I'm wrong, but they still haven't made a signing.
Yeah,
They're the
they have.
only club has not made a signing in the window.
Yeah,
They were they 2-0 up at home to Brentford and they ended up drawing 2-2.
they were. They
Yeah,
were.
so they've got
And
problems. They got problems, and Jesus in front of that Emirates crowd is going to get his debut goal,
Oh, yeah, of course.
in the Premier League for Arsenal.
Of course you will.
yeah.
So I think he's going to score, and I think it'll be convincing. So yeah, 3-0.
Just want to say quickly, it was nice for me as one of my close friends went to the same high school as De Silva, who scored that cutting on his left end in the corner.
Yeah,
They're still very good friends. They went to the same high school, so yeah, special moment for him. And when I saw he scored, I was like, oh, that's nice, And it's one of these things, Brentford, they done well last season, fairly well, and good. They got a point at King Power.
Mhm.
Okay, so we done the Arsenal Leicester game. Now I think we should go on to the Brentford Man United game. We just talked about De Silva scoring that absolute screamer. And please do it again. Score a hat trick, please. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited. Me and Dill's watching that together. We'll get the popcorn out. We'll get the beers out. We'll have fun, man. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Brentford are going to bring the atmosphere. Remember, it's their first game again.
Yep.
It's going to be, and remember, it's a 5:30 kickoff. So Arsenal know all about evenings at Brentford.
Mate,
No, sorry, that was low blow. But
if they do what they did against us, yeah, even though I was a bit more like we had no striking stuff, and you know what, the same thing United has no striking at the moment. So if they do the same thing, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be
I
surprised.
think under the lights, they're going to look at that Brighton game and think, right, Brighton went to Old Trafford and they caused them problems. This is how we're going to cause them problems. You got players like Ivan Toney who is good. Mate, I wouldn't mind Ivan Toney at Liverpool. I'm being honest.
yeah,
I think
100%.
brilliant at Liverpool. He'd be brilliant. He's going to cause United and Maguire, the fridge, and Lisandro Martinez, the midget.
Dominion.
Telling you, like he is going to cause some problems. I think it's going to be an entertaining 2-2 draw. Personally.
Okay.
I think it's going to be
Dylan, what's your prediction?
I'm gonna say a 2-0, and to Brentford,
Okay.
2-0 to Brentford. And the reason why I say that is I can see Ivan Toney causing problems, and I've got a little feeling that Ericsson might just slip up, just to make sure Brentford go through. So
Yeah.
I've got a little one of those ones.
I think it's going to be either 2-1 Brentford or 1-1. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Brentford are going to bring the energy, bring the passion. The fans will be backing them. I think United, if they're smart, they have to, the first 20 minutes, ease the game down, pass the ball around the back, quiet the fans down, and make it a football game. Don't make it about passion because, listen, Brentford away is a tough, like we said in the evening, it's a tough game. So United need to be smart how they enter and approach this game. I think it's going to be go on then. Let's have fun. 2-1 Brentford. I love it. 2 out of 2 losses for Ten Hag. He might be going on the road of. Remember Frank de Boer? Was it Frank de Boer? He lost 5 games in his first 5 or 6 games for Palace, and then he got sacked.
Yeah.
So hopefully another Dutchman does it again. But yeah, okay. So I think 2-1 Brentford, and I think it'll be a very entertaining game. Next game we have to go on to is Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. We already talked a little bit about it. I really need a big response from the boys. We really need a big response. I really want to be convincing. I don't want to win 1-0 and be jammy, like Chelsea do. Because we need to show show ourselves in this title race, show ourselves as a team. A lot of doubters after that Fulham game. It's a one-off. It is. We know it's a one-off.
Yeah.
But I just really, really want to see a good performance, and I think we will see that. I don't think we're going to batter. Like, I don't think we're going to batter a Palace, but I think we're going to control the game. And I think we're going to win 2-0. But I think it's not going to be an easy game, but I think we'll control it. We'll be smart. We're at home, under the lights at Anfield. I hope, it'll be a good atmosphere. And come on, the boys, get this done, man. Let's win this game, and let's go on to the game at OT, which I can't wait for. So what's your guys' predictions for this game?
Well, judging off like previous season stuff, your record's actually quite good against Palace, home and away. So I feel like I know you're saying it's not gonna be a battering, but Palace, I haven't seen them strengthen too much, if that makes sense. And I don't really follow their transfer window and
And
all
they
that.
lost Conor Gallagher, remember?
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's a big miss.
Big player.
Yeah.
I want to say probably a 2-1, maybe a 3-1 even. And I don't know, because at the moment, I correct me if I'm wrong or not, but I don't know if like your Liverpool players are feeling a bit like shocked of the Fulham game. Do you get me?
Yeah, they mentally have to be strong this game. They
Yeah,
have
this
to
is the only thing I can see that can like kind of hinder it in a way. But yeah, I still think confidently you'll definitely beat them, 100%. So yeah,
How
I'll
big
say
will you
3-1.
How big was your
We
prediction?
beat them 3-0 at Anfield last season. Naby scored a quality goal. The ball came out to him and he just volleyed it from the edge of the box into the corner. And he was so arrogant the way he just did. I loved it. I loved everything about it. But
Yeah.
I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be 2-0. I'd like it to be 3 or 4, but yeah, I think it'll be 2. I'm not gonna lie, Thiago being injured for 6 weeks is very frustrating. It's really pissed me off if I'm being honest. But what that does is it opens the door for someone else, and I would love to see Harvey Elliott get a start. I want to see Harvey get a run
Agreed. He's a good player.
He had a run in the midfield before he got the injury at Leeds in September last year, where he started, I think, the first 5 games, and one of them was Chelsea at home. So it wasn't as if Klopp just threw him in for like not easy games, but easier games. He threw him in big pressure games like Chelsea. So he has the trust of Klopp. I want him to be thrown in again. I want to see Darwin start as well. I'm sorry. There is no reason why Darwin Núñez should not start on Monday night. If you were worried about bedding him in or he's not going to adapt to the pace of the Premier League, the guy scored against City in the Community Shield and he's come off the bench and scored and assisted at Craven. He has to start.
Only argument I could give to that is I think maybe Klopp wants to get him away from the media, but you can't.
And we've got a week gap. We're not playing until the following Monday night now against Man United as well.
Again,
So you can't say he's resting. You can't say he's bedding in. Like he has to start.
Yeah.
Bobby is not up to the pace. And
I agreed. I agreed that I actually wanted Bobby to start against Fulham.
Yeah.
But seeing what Bobby done, I realized forget about. He's a grown man. Like he's a good and he's a top player, Núñez. You put him in there and he scores the goals. Before I had the mindset of you don't want to put pressure on him, but come on,
he can do it. I've got faith in him to do it. So I want to start.
I've got faith as well.
I want Darwin to start. I want Salah on the right. I want Diaz on the left, and I want Harvey to start alongside Henderson and Fabinho. And the boys just need to be switched on. And I'm sure they will be because we're going to see a reaction. And do you know what? It's as much as I hate it being on a Monday because I just like watching Liverpool on weekends. Maybe it's a good thing that it's on a Monday night because the crowd will be that much more up for it, I think, because they've had like the whole day. You've been at work and then you're going to the game. You've got that buzz, that excitement. They're going to make it a brilliant atmosphere. It's the first home game of the season as well.
And we're going to see our rivals picking up more points as well. So we're going to be more up. Like you have to win this game. It's going to be more focus. And it's focus. It's Monday Night Football. It's the only game.
We're 2 points behind City. So we're going to be 5 points behind them because they're going to be almost.
It's a no-brainer. You have to win, no matter how you win. Obviously, I said I want to see a good performance, but just win the game.
Hopefully we do.
And then now the final game, a game I'm really excited to watch. Antonio Conte going back to the bridge to play, to play Chelsea. I think this is going to be a very good game. I think you're going to see, the London bus is out for both teams. I think they're going to be both teams are going to be very cautious, very careful how they play this game. Two teams playing three at the back, just being compact. I think it's going to go down to very small chances this game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a 0-0 or a 1-1. But just for the bands, I'm going to go with 2-1 Spurs. I'm going to go for a Heung-min Son winner. But I think it could be a very boring game because both teams are going to be defensively solid. Chelsea have more of the pressure to go for the game because they're at home. But at the same time, these are the type of games where, and for these two clubs, it's okay to draw. You don't want to draw, but especially for Spurs, taking a draw away from Stamford Bridge. Remember, Chelsea have really had a very good record against Spurs in the last few years. I think in the last 4 games, they've beaten them 4 times in the Premier League. It's a good record. It's a very solid record. And Spurs are good. They beat City twice. They drew to us twice. So last season. So I think it's going to be 2-1 Spurs, but wouldn't be surprised to see a 0-0 as well. What do you guys think about this game?
Tough game to call. Really tough game to call. But both sides have strengthened. Both sides are very good teams. So is it home or away? Which is it Stamford Bridge?
Stamford Bridge,
Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a tough game to call. I want to say Chelsea might slightly edge it just because it's at home advantage kind of thing. But I'm gonna say like 1-0. I can't see anything else past that really.
1-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, 1-0 Chelsea. It's literally gonna be a part of the boss game, like I said. Just
it's gonna. I'll tell you something. Whoever scored the first goal, I think your first goal wins the game. I think it's some type of games where first goal win the game. So, what do you think, Abik?
I think you're right. I think they're going to cancel each other out. That's why, annoyingly, I guess I'm going to go for 0-0, but it could be a really entertaining 0-0 draw. So yeah, I think it'll be 0-0. Which either team will be happy because you got to remember they're both in competition with each other for top 4. So it's like when Chelsea play Arsenal, they're both in competition with each other. So it's not like, it's City, Chelsea, or
like when Bournemouth play United, competition with each other.
Yeah.
So,
Bournemouth not really getting much competition but that's a different story. But yeah, no, I think it'll be 0-0.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for watching. I've really enjoyed myself this show. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Abhi, for coming on. We wish Amit, a speedy recovery, back to full fitness and health. And yeah, man, it was a good episode, and excited for these games coming up. And thank you everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Hey guys, welcome to UTV Gunnar. I'll be hosting today. I'm joined with Abik and Amar. Unfortunately, Amit couldn't be here due to him being ill. So, yeah, I'll be hosting the free AD show. How you guys been?
Yeah, good.
Good, man.
This Liverpool takeover.
Yeah. We taking over, lad. We taking over.
Listen.
It's gonna be
on, lads. Red men.
Is it UTV Scousers now? Is it?
UTV Scousers. It's still Arsenal trying to remember that. Yeah.
Well, not today. We might just let you talk about Arsenal, but we'll see how we feel, mate.